Okay, so I just finished doing a tattoo, and both of these worked just fine. And not only did I do a tattoo with these and they worked, but I did my first tattoo with a hollow point needle. And I'm going to have to say I was very impressed. I liked them a lot. The one issue I had is that when trying to get a really tight, small line or really crisp into my line, I was getting some fuzzy areas. So that's just something, it's not bad. You can just come back in with a tighter needle and get those tight little areas. But for the most part, I really liked it. I could use it for a really long time without dipping again. It held on to a lot of ink, which was really nice. Both of these work just fine. They work really good. So now we have two tuned tattoo machines. We know how our power source works. We have clip cord and a foot pedal with better wire on them. So we want to go through the rest of this kit and kind of figure out what we can use and what we need to toss. We can use the practice skins. I'll go into more details on how to use those later. Stenciled paper, we can use that. You're going to need a lot more than just one sheet though, but I'll show you how to get as much as you can out of this one sheet of stencil paper without wasting it. Okay, so we have our tubes and our tips just for practicing because they're not disposable. Our needles, our color cups, these are disposable tips that you use with the grips, and that just goes in there like a regular tip, but these are disposable. So I guess if you're gonna use these grips, you might as well use the disposable tips. If you're actually tattooing on somebody. But even then, there's still a chance that you can get stuff inside of these, and I just don't like reusing anything I don't have to. But at least if you're going to use these on somebody, use these disposable tips. What this is for cleaning your tips. And you take this brush. So you take this brush, and to clean these properly before they go into an autoclave, you need to put them in an ultrasonic cleaner, and you need to get all of the debris, any chunks, if there's anything left on this when it goes into the autoclave, it won't clean it properly. This thing has to be spotless before it goes into the autoclave. So you would need an ultrasonic cleaner that you would put this in, and you would clean these out. And that would take some time. And then you need to, once these are cleaned, you need to package them correctly. Then you need to buy some of these, and then you package these, and then you have to autoclave them for about 30-40 minutes, maybe more. And you clean them for about 10-20 minutes. The whole process takes over an hour, and there's still the possibility that you didn't do it correctly. So the process I prefer is to use a disposable grip and tip. So when I'm done, it takes me about 2 seconds to dispose of this. Your time is money. That was an hour that you wasted with this whole process. And it's more dangerous when you could have took 2 seconds and used one of these. In that hour, you could have spent your time learning how to draw more or learning how to tattoo instead of wasting your time cleaning everything. So these are kind of a waste. I want to use these grommets. Those always come in handy. Allen wrenches. Those come in handy too. This bag has more grommets for some reason and couple little items in here. The gloves. You don't want these. They're worthless. You can use these to clean your bathroom or something, or clean something else. But while you're tattooing on somebody, you want to use black gloves. Because what happens is people freak out when they see blood, and they'll see the red ink and they think they're bleeding all over the place. And you can't hide that with these gloves. You can hide that with your black gloves. And it keeps people from freaking out. They don't realize you're stabbing them with a needle. They're gonna bleed. But at least with black gloves, with these kind of gloves, nitrile powder-free exam gloves. You don't want to use the latex because people are getting a lot of latex allergies. You want to use nitrile gloves, and they're black so you can't see blood, so people don't freak out on you. So those are waste. Don't use those. Rubber bands. Don't waste your money buying expensive rubber bands. I bought a whole canister of these for like $2, maybe less than that, and they work. You don't need black rubber bands. You don't need special rubber bands. These are regular rubber bands and they will work. And everybody gets this size rubber band. You can see this whole bag is full of these, which these work. But let me show you something here with the difference in this tattoo machine frame. If I put this rubber band on this frame and I have a needle on here, it will stay tight. And if I put one of these small ones on here, it's going to be really tight, maybe too tight. So I don't want this on this machine right here. Too much tension. I will have to raise my voltage and I'll overheat my machine. So these ones are good for this machine. Now look at this machine and where the rubber band lands in this machine. See this little groove back here? So there's not as much tension on this one. It's really loose. So in this case, this rubber band would actually work better because it's going to keep the right amount of tension on that. So don't think you have to go out and buy specialty rubber bands for your tattoo machine. I've seen people selling bags like this. All they are black rubber bands, and they jack up the price on you. So you'll use the rubber bands. Rubber bands come in handy. Now, people will leave the rubber bands on here for every single tattoo. They won't change them out. I don't like to do that. After every tattoo, I like to throw away the old rubber bands and put new rubber bands on there. Vitamin A and D ointment. You can buy a big jar of this stuff for $1. I mean, this is like a travel size packet. This might be something you give to somebody to take care of their tattoos, but there's better things than vitamin A and D ointment. Okay, this is a cup holder, color cup, and actually you never use this thing. If you were going to use it, you would leave it in the plastic right here and then put your color cups in it. This is actually exactly how I would use it right here, with the plastic bag over it. And then when you're done tattooing, you would take that out and throw away the plastic bag and put it in another one. But why even bother with this when you can just put some Vaseline down and stick all your color cups to it? This is just an extra step, so I wouldn't do this. O-rings, they could come in handy, you never know. Now here, I think this is the most important thing I could teach you and tell you about these kits. Okay, do not tattoo somebody with this ink. Any ink that comes in a tattoo kit like this, you do not want to tattoo somebody with. I used this on myself one time when I was first learning, and I have a little scarred area right now, right in there, from using the crappy ink, and I got an allergic reaction to it. There are no standards when it comes to making this tattoo ink. This says high grade color, chromatically rapidness, which, what is that supposed to mean? Chromatically rapidness doesn't even make sense. Prevalence USA. Stuff Japan. Why does it say prevalence USA and then stuff Japan? What's that even mean? Stuff Japan. And then right underneath that, technology Taiwan. So it's stuff Japan, technology Taiwan, and prevalence in the USA. Makes no sense whatsoever. Do not use this. The only time you should use this is when you're practicing on fake skin. Use a name brand tattoo supply company that sells ink and has a good reputation. Every bottle from this company should have an expiration date, a lot number, and where it was from. That way, if there's a problem with this, you could trace it back to where it came from. Here's a contact number, here's a email address. Eternal Ink has a good reputation, and they want to keep that and make sure that they keep their business going through their good reputation. They're not going to put out crappy ink and everyone's going to get infections and everyone's going to have allergic reactions to it and nobody's going to buy it anymore. This is their bread and butter. They're going to make good ink, and it's made in the United States. These people, I have no idea who they are. There is no way to track this back to where it came from, and there is no standards for making this. What happens is the water supply that is used by these companies, it has to be sterile water, water without contaminants in it. Here we have standards for that to make sure that this ink is not contaminated. This ink has no standards. They could sell you this and it could be contaminated with all kinds of nasty stuff that you don't want in your body. So do not tattoo people with this ink. Bare minimum. Good company, lot number, expiration date, and how to contact the company. That should be on every single tattoo ink bottle you have, because they have tested bottles of ink, and the reason why people are having reactions to it is because these bottles of ink are full of bacteria. I would trust this company not to do that, and you have no idea who this company is or who made this and what kind of standards they have on ink. And it's not going to be quality ink, so it's going to fade out really quick anyways. If I was going to put this kit together, I would have good quality inks, tools for your tattoo machines, no crappy ink, rubber bands, no vitamin A and D, color cups, yes, O-rings. You don't need this many, but might as well throw them in there. You might need a couple. Grommets, yes. Disposable tips, yes. But instead of the tips, I would go with the disposable grips and tubes. The stencil paper, yes. Practice skins, yes. Needles, yes, but also an eye loop. Tuned tattoo machines, not tattoo machines that have just been thrown together, but you need tattoo machines that have been adjusted by somebody who knows what they're doing. So tuned tattoo machines. Rewired foot pedal, rewired clip cord, power supply. Color cup holder, no. Clear gloves, no. Cleaning brushes, no. And the stainless tips and grips, I would say no. I never use these, but if you're gonna practice with them, we'll give them a yes. So this is what came in the kit that we don't need and is garbage. So I would just toss all of that unless you're going to practice with this ink but not use it on anybody. Now, to teach good sanitation practices, this is what I would throw in to a tattoo kit. Disposable tubes and tips with needles. Sometimes they come with the needle in there already. Dental dams or dental barriers. This is like the one you see here. I would throw a couple of those in. This is all for teaching sanitation practices. I would throw in some baggies for covering up your tattoo machines. And I would throw in some clip cord covers. If this is for a beginning tattoo artist, before they start tattooing, you guys need to learn how to set everything up correctly.